you know, at this point in your career, you've been a decade in the business,
Mhm.
um, millions of dollars in premium on the books. You've led sales teams, you've uh, ran multiple territories
Mhm.
with your carriers.
Mhm.
Um, how do you stay motivated now?
Um, it's the same motivation I think I've had every day. We have an agent we both know that always talks about her why. Her why is her
Mm-hmm.
daughter. You know, um, Mine is my family and what I can do for us so that I don't have to do this, work hard the rest of my life. I hear the old cliche saying, do what's uncomfortable now to be comfortable later. Because if you do what's comfortable now, you'll be uncomfortable later.
Yeah,
And, I get up, step out of my shell, and keep going. Um, my children tease me and tell me I'm a workaholic, but eh, I'll take that.
yeah,
Um, just knowing that there's one more person we need to see. There's
yeah,
always somebody we need to see. There's always somebody who needs to hear what we have to say. And in my role now as a regional manager, I know there are people out there that I need to meet that need to hear what we have to say. And you're doing this phenomenal job with this podcast and with your You Should Get a License. There are people out here who should really do this. I mean, it's not just a good living, it's a great living, it's a great way of life. And you hear all these phrases about generational wealth, and those are the catchwords of the moment, but it truly is.
yeah,
You're building um, a foundation from what you're producing can go for years for the
yeah.
next generation. And I look at my girls who are grown and married and know that what I'm doing now can benefit my grandchildren whenever they get around to having a nanny in the future. And,
Right.
you know, um,
They're
hey,
coming. I know you want them.
I've never been one of those that goes, okay, so when are we going to get grandbaby?
Right, right, right.
3 grandbabies right now. But eventually we'll have human ones. And at that point in time, I know what I'm doing to lay the foundation will be there for them even after I'm gone, which is really nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So, and thank you, for the compliment, about the platform. The
Okay.
platform does not exist, without you, and individuals, like you who are really sharing your stories, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, so that people who are considering, getting into this space, they have a resource that they can
Mhm.
that they can learn from and help them to make better decisions in the same way that we've educated people on what's available for their families, to get them protected. This is a way for people to get educated and evaluate their career choices to make sure that they're stepping into something that's going to be beneficial for them and their families. And the reason it exists is because I couldn't find that platform prior, so I was like, well, I guess it has to be created, so
Good for
so you know
I think
um
it shows that there's going into insurance, there is no glass ceiling, so to speak, and it doesn't
Absolutely.
matter who you are, what your background is, what you look
Yes.
like, what you do. Anybody can do this and be successful. It is a
Yes.
useless business, and it is so. If you have that motivation and the drive, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I've known a kid come right out of high school that with our carrier has been number one in the country year after year, and he's only like
Yeah.
23 years old.
Yeah.
And then you have myself that's in my 50s. I've done this in where most people are trying to get settled in and skate out. I started a new career and was like, yeah, let's do this. Um, and then we've got people that are in their 70s that are successful. They're still actively in the field and producing. What a broad range that is accessible to anybody. This doesn't take a degree, this doesn't take a lot of experience. This takes taking a class, passing a test, and getting appointed with the company.
Right.
And the sky's the limit. You're setting your own paycheck. What you want to make is simply based off how hard you're willing to work.
Absolutely.
You know, that's not the case on some of the, my degree. You have to have done certain things to get where you're going. As a musician, you have to have done certain things to get where you are. This, anybody can do it. Just take a class, take a
Right.
test, get appointed.
That's it. That's
Hmm.
it. And what you put in is certainly what you'll put out. You spoke a little bit about the work and the fact that it is open to everyone, but it also takes that time and that commitment, right, and that focus and that discipline. Um, Not in your first 2 weeks, not in your first 2 weeks. I won't use that example, but
Okay.
have you ever been in a place where you were at a fork in the road and really trying to figure out, what am I still going to keep going forward on this path? One, I want to hear about that experience, and two, how did you move past it?
Um, I've had two forks. Um, One was after a very difficult enrollment years ago, and I just hit a wall. I felt like I was beating my head against a wall. It was a very successful enrollment, but it was a hard fought one. Back to a guaranteed issue front, with our carrier, we have to have a certain minimum requirement of participation. And it was just, things kept changing within the enrollment with the conditions and with what was going on. And I just felt very beat up by the time we got done. And um, I remember just my husband said, "Why? Why are you downing yourself? You hit it, and you said it to me. You got the number. You hit it. Now move on. What's next? There are more people you need to see." And I took a weekend and licked my wounds and was a little grumpy, and then got my paycheck and was like, "Oh, okay, okay, it was worth it." Um,
Paycheck can bring you out of a lot of funks in this business too.
yeah, well, uh, yeah, well, and I
Those
had a
commission statements.
oh yeah, and I had been in a life sales manager role for a number of years, and um, we had a dear friend pass away, and just a lot of things had been in management and just team changes, and I don't know. You hit that little kind of it's a make or break moment where you've hit your wall, and instead of leaning to the wall and taking a rest, you go, "What am I going to do?" And I took a step back. I took a step back and stepped out of management, stepped into an agent role again, and just reacquainted myself with why I did what I do and why I love it. Um, some people would have looked at it as a setback, and why did you take that setback? And for me, it was sometimes you have to go back to basics. Go back to basics. Regroup,
This is a football.
breath. Yeah, take a deep breath and go, "Okay, I can do this."
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I ever did. Getting back to the basics, getting back and going, "Why do I like doing this? Why was I successful at doing this? How can I get back to that feeling again?" And that can
Yeah.
be anything, but I took a little time. And, I had a lot going on in personal life as well as, work life. And um, I had one of the most successful 6 months compact time frame wise, production wise, that I'd ever had in that little niche of 6 months of breathing. And you can't lose focus of why you're doing this. Sometimes
Yes.
all the minutia of the job can get to you, and you lose focus on the minutia. You got to remember what it is, why you do this, your why. My why is because I love helping people. It's kind of part of my DNA, I think. And getting back to that was a big deal. Anytime I feel like I'm hitting that point, getting back in the field as an agent is so important. Just so you have that one-on-one interaction to remember why it is that I do what I do. Um, or sometimes it can be as simple as getting a call from a customer going, "Hey, I've got a claim. Can you help me?" And seeing the impact of what we do, it will always bring me back and go, "Okay, I'm staying longer." I can
Right.
see, we always talk about goals. And I know you're a goal setter as well. I come from, a military family, so we always had our goals. And as a dancer and a musician, you have your goals to hit. And, my long term goal was age 67 and a half, get to that retirement age.
Yes.
And my brother just hit 73 and still runs his own company. And I said, when are you going to retire? And I just saw him a couple of weeks ago. And he said, when are you going to retire? I said, well, you got me by 18 years. When are you going to retire? He goes, retire to what? I don't enjoy playing golf anymore because the people I enjoy playing with don't have time to play with me, or they're too old and they take too long. And my wife would drive me crazy if I had to be around the house all day. And I like working. I like what I do. Why would I retire? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and my goal, I think, if you remember back, was um, one of the presidents of my company, when I went through our new agent training, said, what is your long term goal? What do you see as your career goal 15 years down the line? I said, I want to be that little gray haired lady taking back the return of premium checks to my
Yeah. I
policy.
remember that. Yeah.
And I really do. I think that's such a joy to do. That's giving something good. I mean, that they're
Yes.
happy. It's not a claim. It's not a sell. It's taking something back to make somebody happy because here's your good news. You've got this coming back to you.
That's
So
right.
I
That's
don't.
right. I wanted to just draw back on something that you said a few minutes ago, where you talked about um why, in that moment where you had just the fork in the road, and you decided that you would continue on, and even with Greg, asking, hey, why are you doing this, right? um and it's because you have that, because you do have that why, right? And you found that purpose, and you just really enjoy it. And I think about that, it makes me even just chuckle a little bit. It's sometimes when I think about what we do, I think about this industry, working in this business, it almost feels like a secret, because you enjoy it, and it doesn't even feel like you're working really. You're like, am I really working? I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out, am I working? I don't know. Should I be getting away with this? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And it's um, was I was talking to somebody the other day, and he said, you just get this little giddy look on your face when you're talking about, oh, and I can do this and we can do this.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, yeah, I guess I do. It's the joy of finding the next enrollment, of finding, helping people, of going,
Right.
oh, we did, at the end of the week, I'll pull up our tracker of our production. And the end of week before last, I opened up and went, oh, somebody wrote some more business. And
Right.
it was just kind of that startle. And the gentleman I was talking to goes, you had no idea? And I'm like, no, I didn't even know they were in the field today. This just
Wow.
kind of
Yeah.
that bonus money. And it ended up being somebody had called them and said, hey, I talked to you 6 months ago. Can I still get that policy?
Mm.
That bonus money there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just those little moments. So, couple more questions for you, Michele, and thank you um, for tonight. Definitely, I think this conversation is going to touch some people. Um, how do you feel having a license has changed you as a person, if any? I mean, you've talked about it a bit, but if you had to summarize that, what
um,
what would you say?
having a license is something you never want to let go. Once you get it, you don't. I mean, it's hard fought to get it. It has put a validation on, that I'm good at what I do, and that um, helping people really does matter.
Yeah.
And it has changed our family. Getting a license can really just make such a difference. And when I think about what else I could do, I could probably make about as much money doing something else, but at the end of the day, it's just a job. When I made this move, it wasn't to have another job, it wasn't another career. This is my career.
Yeah.
And it really makes, we're in a profession that really makes a difference. You know, there are a lot of salesmen out there that can sell cars, sell houses, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But at the end of the day, you've sold something that, you know, it's an asset. It's
Hmm.
something. It's not changing somebody's life if they need it. Does that make sense? I mean, we make a difference.
Right, right, right.
We truly make a
It,
difference.
I guess if I just to just redeliver that, I guess it's just one of those things where, if you are providing something, you're providing something that's intangible,
Correct.
you know, um, because you're gonna have, look, I love my car, and
Love my car too. Love my
right,
house.
right, right. Love, and you know, man, love our house that we're moving into in a moment. Um, but knowing that you have something that will protect those things and allow you to keep those things,
Big deal.
if all things go awry, that makes a difference, because then you can actually enjoy the things that you have,
Right.
right?
We're, I think the best way to put it is we give peace of mind.
Yeah,
We're not selling a tangible object. We are giving you peace of mind to know that no matter what, you're covered.
yeah.
I know some old car,
Not
car,
no matter what. From a compli That's not, no compliance people. Not no matter what.
no
Under
matter what. No
specific
matter,
risk.
yeah. But it's, in my wide and varied career, I sold baskets, very expensive baskets at one point in time. Yeah, I made a lot of money selling very expensive baskets. At the end of the day, you have a basket. You have a basket.
Yeah,
That basket's not going to pay your mortgage. That basket's not going to pay your car payment. That basket's not going to take care of your family if you're gone. Not only we're giving the customer peace of mind, I sleep extremely well at night knowing that I've done a good job and
absolutely.
I've given people things that they need
Yeah,
and it can protect them.
yeah.
And a wise woman told me that you can't pay for your sleep. So I sleep
That's
really
it.
good.
That's it. That's it. And it's, and it's a wonderful thing, because you get to do something good, right? And it's also very lucrative. It
Mhm.
can be very lucrative as well as a profession. So it kind of serves, both sides of the coin. You're taking
Absolutely.
care of others, and you're also taking care of yourself at the same time.